Here's a quick, um, kind of, I guess, like a quick rundown of some common mistakes that I saw in exam one. A lot of people got the hand calculations correct, so that's fantastic. Good, great job. Um, One of the main issues I saw was um, that there were a lot of times when there were no answers at all. So if you're one of those people, you saw a message from me. Hopefully, you saw a message from me. You have a message from me that asks you if there was an upload that didn't attach. So if you just didn't know how to do the calculations, just you can tell me that, or you don't have to respond, whatever. But if you did know how to do the calculations and you did send that in, uh, email me, and I will grade your hand calculations. I don't want to penalize you for, Canvas not accepting the work you were putting in. Okay, so one of the major issues that I saw for people who actually, you know, did do the calculations, didn't get them right, and didn't have a blank was something like this. So one of the things we have is a formula kind of like A over VL. Okay, so when you write it out like this, you can see that it's A divided by V times L. Um, if you were going to write it out kind of like all in one line, like if you were, writing it out on your computer or something, it would look more like this. You'd have to put the parentheses in to kind of encapsulate the idea that the V and the L are here together, below the A. They go together. Because what I noticed a lot of people messed up on was they would do something like A divided by V times L. If you don't have the parentheses, then what you can do is like it looks like you can just go through and do A divided by V and then that answer times L. It's not the same thing. And I can show you that it's not the same thing. So let's say that A equals 6, V equals 2, and L equals 3. So if that's true, then we're going to have, let's, uh, let's get rid of that. We'll write our formula out as A over VL. Okay, so that is the same thing as 6 over 2 times 3. Well, 6 over what's 2 times 3? It's 6. So the answer is 1. Excellent. All right, so let's do this way. A divided by V times L and A divided by V times L. So here we've got 6 divided by 2 times 3, and here we're going to have 6 divided by 2 times 3. So in the top, we do the parentheses first, so we have 6 divided by 6. In the bottom, we're going to come across, a lot of you know your order of operations, but you let the implied grouping here go. So what you did was 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So here it would end up being 3 times 3. So if you reduce that up here, it's 1. And down here, if you solve for the answer, it's 9. So you have a huge difference, right? You've got 1 here and 9 here. And we can tell, obviously this is the same answer as above. So this is the way you need to solve it. Always watch for those parentheses. Um, oh, Not enough room. Okay, so watch for your parentheses. When you are writing out a formula that, is something like this, you have to write it out like this. Because if you don't, you're going to go through and solve it, and you end up with an answer that's way too big, um, way bigger than it should be. So watch for that. That's a common mistake that I saw. And look, here's the thing about this mistake. You are going about it correctly. You're doing order of operations the way it should be. It's just that you forgot to add, like I said before, these implied parentheses that are here. These two things are grouped together underneath the division sign. And when you're kind of writing it out, I guess in two dimensions, like it's not all on one line, you can do that. You don't have to have parentheses because you can put everything together under one phrase and it's like having parentheses. But then when you move it to Canvas and you're writing it out, then that's where you run into trouble. I saw this mostly with people that typed out their answer into Canvas, like right into the text box. So that makes sense. Why that happened. People who did it on paper and then just uploaded a picture of their answer, you were able to keep it, like this. So I don't think it played with your mind as much. So anyway, my point is, yes, it's incorrect, but I see how you got there. You're following order of operations. So it's not a huge problem if that was something you did. You only lost 1 point. Okay. That's really the only thing that I saw that most people had an issue with. Oh, no. There was one other one. So, what if the resonant frequency, this is the very first question, is increased by a factor of whatever? So all you have to do with that one is, like, I'm already giving you the resonant frequency, which in the case of that question was 300. So if I said, what if the resonant frequency is increased by a factor of 5, then your answer, like, it's literally just 30 times 5 or 300 times 5. So, what is 300 times 5? Well, it's 1500. So that's your resonant frequency. That's how you find that. You just, for resonant frequency, when you already have resonant frequency, you just multiply it by, whatever the number is that I give you there. A lot of you were trying to take the square root of what I gave you the factor for, and then multiply that by the resonant frequency. Which, yeah, that's totally true when you're doing the mass or the stiffness of the spring, but not for resonant frequency. So that was the other issue that I saw. Other than that, everybody did pretty well. So good job, everybody. And the other thing is, everybody got 4 points back. One person did get 100%, but the next, it was just one, and then the next grouping came in at 97 points out of 101. So I curved it for the 4 points. So everybody should have 4 points back. You can check that if you look at the very bottom of your exam. It should say fudge points, and you should have a 4 in there. So you should have 4 points back. Exam 2, I'm going to start grading those tomorrow. And so you can expect another video like this, going through the calculations and common questions that were missed, maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday. So, all right. Now I just have to figure out how to stop this video. It's always never know where to click.